Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Sam English, and this is the second episode to the Sam English show. Surprisingly, I made it this month. I actually wrote some stuff down, believe it or not, and my monologue. So, welcome to the show, Sam English. Since the last show, we've had some more sad news. We had a British soldier in London attacked, and he died in this attack. And we've also had other bomb threats. The Boston Marathon finally finished 2 weeks after the original bombing, and as if there was any other bombing. But after the original bombing of the marathon finished with all participants walking across the finish line and a ceremony completing the marathon for 2013. There was big twisters in Oklahoma that took out like parts of the city. It was a 2.5 mile wide twister, about 300 miles an hour winds, and I'm saying it without laughing because ever saw the movie Twister? I've seen it several times, and it's like not a movie in Hollywood that doesn't have something in my life that I could connect with the film, and it's just ironic. It's film after film. I don't know. Anybody know the rules of Fight Club? Rule number 1, you don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, you do not talk about Fight Club. Rule number 3, say stop. If somebody says stop, or goes limp, or taps out, the fight is finished. Rule number 4, only 2 fighters per fight. Rule number 5, only 1 fight at a time. Rule number 6, no shirts, no shoes. Rule number 7, my favorite. Rule number 7, the fights will last as long as they will last. And of course the very last one, rule number 8, my favorite. If this is your first time to Fight Club, you will most definitely have to fight. Rule number 8, if this is your first time to Fight Club, you most definitely must fight in Fight Club. Those were the original rules of Fight Club. Note that I said original first aid, because if you go to chuckpalahniuk.net and or also his Facebook page, you could see the updated version of the Fight Club rules. There are now 20, and I am not going to read all the rules to Fight Club because I don't feel like it, and that's one of the new rules. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I suggested 2 more rules for Fight Club, and those rules are rule number 21 and 22. Rule number 21, your first language is English, therefore it's your only language. Rule number 22, your last name is English. And that are the new rules of Fight Club. Check them out if you haven't. And if you have any new rules for Fight Club, go on to Chuck Palahniuk's site and suggest them. World War Z is a new movie. It's a new zombie movie by Brad Pitt. This man directed it and starred in it as well. It's not out. It's out in the summer. It's summer, but I read about it. It seems to be a really, really nice film coming out. I would watch it this summer since all the zombie activity that's been going on in the world and recently. I would consider it a must-see. At MTV Movie Awards, Iggy Azalea interviewed Brad Pitt. I didn't get to see it, but who I read recently in a magazine forgets faces as soon as he meets someone. Iggy Azalea has this huge ass. How can you forget a huge ass like that? So Brad Pitt, he forgets faces. I forgot what it's called. I wrote it down. Something androphilasy, some weird thing that you forget faces, and after you meet someone, you absolutely forget them. But how can the two celebrities not remember each other? If I were to interview Brad Pitt, I would definitely would have asked him interview the Vampire 2 and the sequel to Fight Club. So those would have been my questions, definitely. Okay, time for some stand-up comedy, that is. And I'm not really a comic, but I do think of some funny ass stuff sometimes, and I forget to write them down. And that I need to remind myself. Remind yourself to write stuff down. May the laughter begin. How do you find Ronald McDonald's in a nudist beach? You just look for his sesame seed buns. This is stupid. I can memorize that one. Life is terrible, as if tragedy could be converted to comedy. A Native American walks into a bar. He has with him a bag of shit, a cat, and a shotgun. He then walks up to the bar and asks the bartender for a bottle of whiskey. The bartender gives him the bottle of whiskey, and the Native American downs it immediately. Soon thereafterwards, he throws a bag of shit in the air and shoots the bag of shit with a shotgun. Then takes the bite out of the cat's ass. The bartender then asks, "Son, what the fuck are you doing?" I'm not going to finish the rest of the joke, but I never got to do that, so life is terrible and it's filled with tragedy. Then takes a bite of the big cat's ass. What do women want that's better than sex? A vibrating credit card. If you think that might arouse you, you see this dictionary. What did the T-Rex say to the Brontosaurus? You put the ass in Brontosaurus. No. Please start laughing before I even finish the joke. So I ask a religious person, can you prove God exists? And he replies, God is invisible. That figures. So atheist, science guy, what's your philosophy of life? And of course I reply, why do you have to get so technical about it? Okay. So dark side. KTLA reports Boeing bringing 300 engineering jobs to Long Beach. That's pretty huge news. Unfortunately, I'm not an engineer, and I can't even say unfortunately without thinking about vaginas. And now I would like to welcome you to Off the Top of My Tweets. Howard Stern. Jesse Ventura 2016 bid Howard Stern as running mate. So Howard Stern, Jesse Ventura are going to be running mates for the presidential candidacy. BBC News reports a pod of buses out in the ocean in the Atlantic. You see that? That is a bus like in the middle of the ocean. I don't know how it got there. This thing just drives into the ocean. It looks like a whale. It's maddening. Mimi Red Elk and Mountain Child tweets, there's a June 5th show at 6 p.m. and you can call into their show at 713. And they're Native Americans. They do a Blog Talk radio show on politics, government, and life on the reservation. So that's on blogtalkradio.com/Mountain Child. ABC Marseille trending Toontown explosion at the Hitler tea kettle. Have you guys seen Hitler tea kettle? This thing is selling big time. It looks like Hitler, which is kind of cute. I haven't read Busy Phillips' tweet in a while, and this is her most recent tweet that I favorited. Sorry, wrong link. Here's the one that works. How many times does that happen? E.A. Hanks tweets, suddenly concerned about how much time I spent standing over the sink peeling garlic. She must have been thinking about something stupid. Carrie Bradshaw tweets, men never think anything is their fault. Should've came first. And Barack Obama tweets, for comprehensive immigration reform to work, it must be clear from the outset that there is a pathway to citizenship. And that's President Obama tweeting. Ingram Angle, another Obama flunky, was just created. Twitter account, Chitto Jitif. People deny it, but you are the most racist, hateful people. And I had to retweet that because I find that so true, man. Carrie Bradshaw, one day you're going to meet someone unlike any other, and once you find that person, nobody is ever going to compare. I've been in love in my life for about 5-7 times, but I've never been absolutely in love with somebody, so I'm still waiting for that person. KTLA just tweets, video of Paris Jackson hospitalized after possible suicide attempt. And I'm assuming a Jackson kid? I have been following this rugby team recently, and it's a USA rugby team for women. And if you are a female and have any kind of athletic background, these rugby athletes came from cheerleading to squad to running to volleyball to track and field. I mean, you name it. You know, they came and they qualified to be on a rugby team as well as the USA Rugby Sevens team. So if you're interested, please go online to USA Rugby Team. And that ends my show for this month. But please keep visiting my channel. I'll have like updates, my personal vlog, some shorts, documentaries, as well as a video around town. So I'd like to thank you for watching my show. Until next time.